Man, we are having a very, very, very important conversation right now with one of Dallas's, I want to say, curators of this city, who has his hands in everything. But for this conversation, where we're going to start is we are celebrating now the 100th anniversary of what is considered the State Fair Classic, in which, of course, for the HBCUs, for college football in general, this man has had a hand in creating and making it special. Mr. Al Walsh, welcome.
Thank you.
When people say your name or identify you, what do you feel comes to people's mind when your name is mentioned? Is it only the State Fair, or how much other things have you had your hands in?
Well, it depends on what part of the country you in. I mean, everybody around here know me of living in Dallas, but I do more entertainment and more shows in other parts of the country than I do in Dallas today. Used to be, we had a grip on Dallas for forever. Dallas was the city for us. Yeah. When I say us, me and my staff, we just couldn't nothing move. Somebody tried to do something in Dallas, we try to do it better. But of course, the State Fair is our signature event, and I've been doing that for 50 years.
Wow.
So, it's like, but I've done classic football games all over the country. And there's not too many major stadiums in the country that I haven't played in, like Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, and Soldier Field, Independence Stadium in Shreveport, the Astrodome in Houston. So it's like, I was dealing with Grambling.
Yes.
And Eddie Robinson was a legend in himself. And he knew that Grambling could only play 3 games a year at home and try to make money. There's nothing to do in Grambling. So his motto was, have team, will travel. And that's where he came and got me, and he said, let's go. And we played classic games all over the country.
What exactly was your role in the setup as far as the 50 years, and what did it start as, and what did it build to, as far as how we see it now today?
Well, it's different from where we were 50 years ago. And not only did we start with a legend like Eddie Robinson, but there was a white company called Pace Management out of Houston that was marketing the Space City Classic in Houston with Texas Southern and Prairie View, the Bayou Classic in New Orleans, it wasn't State Fair Classic, but it was Grambling and Prairie View in Dallas. And the Grambling and Prairie View wanted out of the contract. So they sued the company to get out of the contract. And they won the lawsuit. So the settlement was to promote 5 games to settle this lawsuit. And so they hired me to come in and promote the Dallas game. And I took it from, they were doing about 15,000, 16,000 people at that time. First year, we took it over 20,000 people. And that was like 20,000 people, and that was a big thing.
Amazing.
So, and we just kept growing. And the thing is, people didn't understand across the country how you can play Prairie View, which had the longest losing streak in college football. They lost for 8 years. They didn't win a game.
Wow. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know.
8 years straight. They lost, games back after back after back after back. And like, when we saw that, we said, we got to take a different approach. We're not promoting a football game. We're promoting the event.
Yes.
And that's what we did. We made it an event. And we just started doing things that you hear a commercial, That was the last thing you hear about a football game. We talked about halftime, the Black Foxes, the band, we talked about everything. We talked about the coach, Eddie Robinson. We talked about everything but a football game. And at the end of the commercial, come see, the football game now. And that's what we did. We built it as an event. So that's how we made it what it is today.
You saw it yourself that it was more than a game. Like, as you were looking at it, that this could be more than a game. Of course, the game will be played, but like you said, more eventful. At what point did the Battle of the Bands, as far as the bands having a focus on that? Mind you, I'm 42 myself, and from my history of the State Fair Classic was always the band, the halftime show, that event right there. At what point did that become such a detrimental part of, the entertainment of it?
From day one. There was always the band. There was always the majorettes. Every university had some form of dancers. Prarie was the Black Foxes. Grambling was the Arkeeses. Alcorn had a name, Southern, and all of them picked pretty women, Men love women, and they were entertaining. They did all the moves, all the music that you was hearing today. They played all the music. The bands danced out on the field, and that was part of the show. They felt like they were drawing more people than the football team, which they were in some cases.
Definitely. It is the 100th year of the State Fair Classic. That means it's got through a lot of trying times in America. Football is something that brings the country together, but we did have, some rough times in the 50s and the 60s, dealing with segregation and things of that nature. I know you weren't a part of it at that time, but for just knowing it, as far as just, knowing how football was in Black HBCUs, can you speak on that time frame as far as when a racial divide was at its highest?
Well, yeah, what happened is that it started back when Bear Bryant played USC, and USC had Sam Cunningham, Bam Bam, the running back, and he ran all over Bear Bryant. And Bear Bryant, he just couldn't believe it. Bear Bryant said, "I'm gonna go get me one of them." Everybody couldn't understand one of what. He didn't want to say black boys, but he said he gonna get me one of these black kids to run that ball like he just ran over them. So when they segregated and integrated to the point to where, they started letting the black kids go to the white schools, that's what hurt HBCUs. HBCUs couldn't get the quality of black kids. Eddie Robinson was beating some white schools at that time because he had the best Ernie Ladd, Buck Buchanan, Willie Lanier. I mean, they had all these incredible ball players that came out of these black high schools and went to HBCUs because they couldn't get into white schools. They were beating up on them. So that's why the recruitment, and that's what happened to HBCUs. They lost a step, because they were taking all the black athletes and they was taking them to the white schools. And, nothing wrong with it. It's just, it was a better education, I guess, for them, and a different environment for some of them, But I still think HBCUs is the place where a lot of us really need to be. I went to all white school all my life.
Yeah.
But if I had it to do all over again, wouldn't do it.
Wow.
Wouldn't do it.
You would go the other way.
I'd go the other way.
Definitely.
I mean, because it was more of a family environment. You learn more. I mean, I don't associate with none of guys that I played ball with, you know. But if I'd have went to the black ones, yeah, we communicate. At one college that I went to, University of Tennessee at Martin, it was only 8 black ball players on the team. They never played 3 of us at the same time. Wow. You know, and we still communicate today, the 8 of us that are still living. Wow. But, you know, but I see all these homecomings. I go to Prarie View homecoming, 50,000 people at a homecoming. Wow. 50, and the stadium only hold 17, 18,000. Right. But you got the campus just full of, and they having good time, dancing, partying, barbecuing. You can go in if you don't have no food. Hey man, come over here and get you a sandwich. You know, you don't feel that way. I've never been back to a homecoming where I went to school.
Yeah, and most people who become an alumni of HBCU, they will normally do the homecomings. They'll go back. You see guys 50, 60, 70 years old.
Oh, you got to go back. Yes. I mean, that was family. Yeah. You know, you ate out of the same bowl. You ate out of the same plate. You know, I mean, it was time. I went to junior college in Brenham, Texas. Everybody knew that Bluebell ice cream was from Brenham, Texas.